Star Wars The Last Jedi is the greatest Star Wars of all time. Yeah, no. No. We're gonna save that movie for another video. I was planning on ruffling some feathers today, but not that much. For all you die-hard Empire Strikes Back fans, you might want to cover your ears because I'm about to tell you which Star Wars is actually the greatest of all time. Spoiler alert, it's not Empire. In my opinion, remember I said that, in my opinion, Rogue One is the greatest Star Wars movie to date. I'm not throwing any hate towards any of the movies. I'm a fan of all of them. The Last Jedi excluded. I can sit here and get as much joy out of watching Rise of Skywalker as I can A New Hope, but one movie stands above all the others. Let's take a look at a few of the reasons. Number 1, Rogue One was our first look at something aside from Jedi and the Skywalkers. While I might have been raised on the original trilogy VHS box set, it's refreshing to get a glimpse at the rest of the galaxy without having to dive into the games. You can only follow Luke, Leia, Anakin, and Obi-Wan so long before you need a reminder that there really was a whole galaxy going on outside of that storyline. And for all of you wondering what that noise is, say hello to Dickie Doo. He'll be joining me from now on. Rogue One introduced us to some of the characters that I legitimately wanted to know more about, and somehow I grew as attached to some of them in one movie as I did to other characters that took 3. 2. We got an inside look at a huge plot point that had always been brushed over before. Ever since 1977, people have been wondering how a lonely princess came across the battle plans to the ultimate weapon, and for decades, people just had to accept that it was what it was. Not anymore! Not only did we get to find out more, but we got to see the entire operation. What was once a simple sentence out of General Dodonna's mouth is now a feature film that will have you wonder why we even bother falling in love with characters anymore. Seriously. It's like Game of Thrones didn't teach us anything. 3. This movie pulled on my heartstrings more than Anakin and Padme did when they fell in love. I love the prequels. I was raised on the original trilogy, but the prequels are mine. I remember going to the theater in 1999 and watching Episode 1, Phantom Menace, for the first time. And it's honestly probably one of my earliest movie theater experience memories. But that depiction of two people falling in love was so back and forth that it gave me whiplash. It was like a rancor grabbed me, shook me, and that's why I wasn't believing the love story. Because I'm supposed to believe that Vader is more than a kid yelling that things aren't fair! No. Anyways, the ending of Rogue One blew my mind. Not because of a crazy convoluted love story. Because it didn't matter if there was a love story. It didn't matter if Cassian and Jyn fell in love. It didn't matter if Shrewd and Baze fell in love. For all you fanfic people out there. None of that mattered in the end. None of it! All that mattered is that they completed the mission to progress the story. Which, I mean, we already knew they were going to finish it. We wouldn't have had any of the other movies. Or we would have just gotten the prequels and then Rogue One, and that would have been the rise of the Empire. Successful. Could they have written the story so everyone could live? Of course! Star Wars isn't immune from a good bit of plot armor. But they didn't. They made the conscious decision to say, screw you. It's time to ultimate sacrifice some characters. I didn't care about watching the entire planet of Alderaan blow up, but when Scarif got hit, I might have gotten a little teary-eyed the first time. 4. Our main characters are everyday people. There were so many people that said there are no strong female leads or films that feature people of color. This movie does all of that. And it didn't feel like it was being shoved down my throat like the sequels did. Jyn is an ultimate badass woman that isn't a superpowered human that can pull out force powers no one else could, just because it keeps the story going. Rey. She is very much a normal woman that just had the balls to get the job done. On top of that, you've got Cassian, who we're going to find out a lot more about in his origin show. Sharut, Baze, and Saw. This is a diverse cast and crew that felt more natural than anything I've seen in the past few years, and that's crazy considering the fact that there are aliens in this movie. Speaking of aliens, number 5. For being a galaxy far, far away, there were more aliens in this than there were in Force Awakens. Alright, Force Awakens was our first taste of what Disney would do with Star Wars, and it felt like a carbon copy without a significant alien presence. It was a future Hitler movie, essentially. Rogue One has aliens all over the place, and they aren't just there to showcase like the cantina scene. They actually interact and are crucial to the story. Two Tubes is one of my favorites here, but I can't forget about Pow either. And finally, number 6. This is the best Darth Vader scene featured in a movie yet. I've never gotten goosebumps the way I did when Vader's lightsaber lit up that passageway. The entire time he walked down the passage, slicing through people, throwing them like ragdolls, I couldn't help but jump, and oh my god. While the lack of lightsabers in the movie might have added to this intense scene, I like to boil it down to cinematography, excellent writing, and a magnificent job from the composer. Seriously, I'm listening to the soundtrack right now as I speak. I love it. Go listen to it. The only time I've been this excited and scared to see Darth Vader was at the end of the Fallen Order game. We'll get to that later though. But that's it for this one. If you want a more in-depth explanation for why Rogue One is the GOAT of Star Wars movies, go ahead and comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks!